The implementation of the Nigerian Customs Modernization Project, or e-Customs, is generating controversy as a group has alleged the action is in breach of a court order. Well, the group known as the Accountable Leadership for Better Nigeria Initiative wants the federal government to reverse the reapproval of the concession agreement on e-Customs. It says the project initially awarded to Messrs. E-Customs HC Project Limited in September 2022 was re-awarded to Bergman Security Consultants on April 19, 2023. Well, it alleges that the contract was re-awarded in spite of a subsisting legal dispute and court order, following what it says was the attempt by the Controller General of Customs to impose a shareholding and governance structure on the original company. It also describes the second approval as a deliberate contempt for an order of court, as a new memo on the e-Customs is to be presented at the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday. All right, joining us now is the legal practitioner Abdul Latif Mohammed, principal at Abdul Mohammed Law Practice. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on News Night.
Thank you for having me.
Well, on the issue of court order, the government actually, well, Clem Agba actually said that the government is not even aware that there is any court order that could have or should have stopped it from going ahead to re-award the contract. Can you really fault the decision of, the re-awarding by FEC, since what you had, what your clients had, was an anticipatory approval
in fact, what happened was that they had an approval from FEC, and what had happened was that afterwards, then all this story happened. But see, what's more important than even what could have been the play behind all this is the issue of how we treat our courts. Now, when it matters before the court, and the court is making an order that says, look, don't do something about it, then it's the place of the government not to do something about it. Now, when the minister says that he wasn't aware of that court case, well, it's very strange because they have lawyers, the ministry was in court, they have senior lawyers that were representing them, SCNs doing that, and how could he say he was not aware? Okay, let's even give it to him that he was not aware. Now he's aware. What should he do, being a government official, a senior person at that, who now has done something that's contrary to what the court has said you should not do? I think in this case, perhaps the president should actually be able to tell these people, look, perhaps I've been misinformed, I've been misdirected, and that is not the place of this president, at least in the twilight of his administration, to be the one that will review what courts have said. The proper thing they should do, the appropriate thing they should do is, look, reverse it. Reverse your own decision. You cannot be overriding what the court has said.
And it's also strange that this is coming at a point whereby it was the vice president, a professor of law, who actually, searched, to see that this actually moved into another, stage. Now, now he's aware, as you said, and the lawyers were in court on that day. But speak to us about the activities now of the Comptroller General of Customs, because it seemed that this was 2022 initially, and now it's been moved to another company in April of 2023. So how did the first company seem to be, losing out, and you getting this awarded to another company in the dying days of this administration?
It's pure magic, really. What happened was that the first company had gotten a fake approval, and somehow it turns out that with interest, the way we normally say it, and you find that somebody else comes and they give him that same approval, based on what somebody had done over the past maybe 8 years, which is not fair. But again, we should not lose sight of what is the real story here. The real issue here is that, look, it could well be that the court will decide that the person that got it afterwards was right. It could well be. But what they should do, what we cannot afford to do, is to take steps that will prejudge what the court will say. That's the danger here.
And FEC is sitting tomorrow. So is this on the agenda for tomorrow?
I do not know, but I do hope that the president will will remember that, there's a way history will judge you when you go. And it's in its twilight. It's quite possible that somebody deceived them about these things, because the history is there, the record is there, they had approved it for the first company before. And in any case, this has happened. This court case has happened. The court has said don't do anything about it. And the president
is there
will
any
not want
communication from you to the president or to the presidency on this, so that we know if the president will have this look into by tomorrow?
Yeah, what we have done, what the people have done is to write letters to people that are concerned, the Attorney General, the Secretary of the Federal Government, and everybody. They're all aware. The minister is aware. They have lawyers in court. They are in court. The company that's supposed to take over is in court as well. The issue is in court. At the very least, reverse what you've done. It's not right. Okay, then wait for the court to decide.
That's a point that you've made. Well, the approval, this anticipatory approval, was made in 2020, and this is 3 years after. Why did the project not even take off? I mean, since then, were there challenges? What were exactly the challenges to the point that it had to get to here now?
Okay, let me tell you what happened. What happened was that the FEC had approved the draft contract to move ahead. They had approved it. Okay, we've seen this, approved, go ahead, right? But now it was in place of the customs, okay, to now action this, okay, by making sure what the FEC had approved in terms of the contract is executed and they can proceed. Now, when these things happen, you find out that the person that should do something doesn't do it for his own interest, and before you know it, something surprising happens. It's not anticipatory approval per se, it's an approval for the project by FEC. Gives it the first person that had been doing it over a period. Then it was the part of the customs to now do the next thing to make it actually happen. At that point, the magic happened. Then, okay, now we have a kind of a dispute, right? So you go to court and say, my lord, this is what we have. Can you decide this?
What exactly are you asking? What are you praying the court? I mean, you talked about, you're asking for a reversal of the decision that's been made. What else are you asking the court?
Basically, in simple terms, we're asking the court to protect vested interests. People have this interest vested by operation of law, by fact, and everything. Then you can't just take for somebody what legally he has. You can't do that. It's not fair. It's not what anybody should do. And it's not what you should do under a government that tries to do things the proper way. Now
that this contract has been awarded fully to Bergman, what options are there for you apart from going to court?
The options that are there for us as a country is that the president and the FEC should reverse that administrative order that they made. Because why? That order cannot be seen to override what the court has said. Now, you reverse that, then the court decides whether, okay, maybe this was right, this was wrong. We can live with that. It's not a problem.
I guess we'll have to leave it there and wish you the very best in this. Abdul Latif Mohammed, you are the lawyer for the company that was initially given the contract, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight.